Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. How are you today? How's it going? I hope you can hear me well. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about a common Spanish phrase, and it is a very, very useful one. And but before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Also visit smlessons.com for more free Spanish lessons. And I would like to give a big shout out to Kay Beck. She is a Cafecito member. And thank you, Kay Beck, for buying me a coffee, a cafecito. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you're interested in getting a membership on this channel, you can buy me a cafecito, a cerveza, or a couple of cervezas, and also tequila. So those are memberships: cafecito membership, cerveza membership, and tequila membership. Each membership has different perks. So big shout out to Kay Beck. Thank you so much. And once again, if you're interested in getting a membership, you can click on the join button down below. Thank you. Okay, so also give this video a like. That helps me a lot. If you have any questions, please use the live chat, because we're live streaming, so I can read your questions, and hopefully I can answer all of your questions as well. So I see Hassan BCN is saying hi. Hello, Hassan. How are you? ¿Cómo está? I hope you're well, and welcome. Okay, so let's get started. As I was saying, we are going to learn about the Spanish phrase tomar en cuenta. Tomar en cuenta. Do you know the meaning of this phrase? Do you know what it means? This phrase is useful to remind someone about something. Okay? So the meaning of this phrase, tomar en cuenta, is, well, it has quite a few meanings, but all of them are quite similar. The first meaning is bear in mind. The other meaning is keep in mind. It also means take into account. Take into consideration. Okay? So this Spanish phrase is similar, very similar to those English phrases. Okay? And it literally means take into account. Okay? So that's the literal translation of tomar en cuenta. Take into account. Okay? So in order to use this phrase, you gotta know the conjugation of the Spanish verb tomar. Tomar. And this verb means to take. Okay? So now let's see a few examples using this phrase. Hassan BCN says, estoy bien, gracias. I'm glad, Hassan. And your Spanish is really good. That's great. Awesome. Okay, so the first example is, no tomé en cuenta tus sentimientos. No tomé en cuenta tus sentimientos. This means I didn't take your feelings into account. So tomé en cuenta, we can see right here the phrase tomé en cuenta. Okay? And in this situation, it means take into account. So this is pretty much the literal translation of tomar en cuenta. And we see that tomar is conjugated in past tense, okay? No tomé en cuenta tus sentimientos. I didn't take your feelings into account. So if you want to apologize because you did something, you can say, no tomé en cuenta tus sentimientos. If that's the case, of course. And that means I didn't take your feelings into account, right? So let's break this down. No, similar to didn't. Tomé en cuenta, I. Remember that Spanish personal pronouns are not used sometimes in sentences. So that's why tomé en cuenta, I know that I'm talking about I because, or yo, because of the conjugated verb, okay? I didn't, or I take into account, or I didn't take into account, no tomé en cuenta, I didn't take into account, right? Tus sentimientos, your feelings, okay? So I hope you don't have to say this ever, but in some situations, you have this problem where you don't take into feelings into account, or someone's feelings into account. So yep, that's what it means. This phrase, that's what it means. No tomé en cuenta tus sentimientos. I didn't take your feelings into account. Perfect. Now let's see another example. We can see that Lynette Giggs is here. Hello, Lynette. How are you? ¿Cómo está? Lynette is saying, tomar en cuenta te quiero. Okay, so are you trying to say, bear in mind that I love you or something like that? Because, yeah, I mean, you can use tomar en cuenta for that or something. Yeah, if you're trying to say something like that. Okay, let's see. Welcome, Lynette, by the way. Okay, let's see one more example. Toma en cuenta que no voy a estar estos días. Toma en cuenta que no voy a estar estos días. This means keep in mind or bear in mind that I'm not going to be here these days. So if you're going away, if you are on vacation or you will be on vacation, you can say this. Toma en cuenta que no voy a estar estos días. Okay? So if you want to remind someone, hey, just keep in mind, I'm not going to be here. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions or if you have to tell me something, just do it now, right? So let's see, or let's break this down, rather, this sentence. Toma en cuenta, keep in mind or bear in mind que no voy, that I'm not going to, que no voy, that I'm not going a estar, to be, estos días, these days. And I see that I have here. I have here. So I could add to this sentence, toma en cuenta que no voy a estar aquí. Okay, so just to make it sound more complete, right? That was my bad. Okay, so essentially here or aquí means here. Okay, so toma en cuenta que no voy a estar aquí estos días. keep in mind or / bear in mind that I'm not going to be here these days. Okay? So that's what it means. And now you know that you can use tomar en cuenta if you want to just remind someone, hey, I'm not going to be here. Just tell me something that you need to tell me, right? Okay, so do you guys have any questions? Tomar en cuenta. It's an easy phrase to use. Remember, you need to know the conjugation of the Spanish verb tomar. And Lynette, your example, tomar en cuenta te quiero. Remember that you have to conjugate the Spanish verb tomar. And you could say, toma en cuenta que te quiero. Okay? So that sounds a bit more complete. And that means something like keep in mind or bear in mind that I love you. Something like that. Okay? Perfect. Now, let's see 2 more examples. The next example is, hay que tomar en cuenta que habrá mal clima. Hay que tomar en cuenta que habrá mal clima. This means we have to take into account there will be bad weather. So if you're planning to go somewhere, if you're planning a trip, and sometimes the weather is a bit like it can make your vacation miserable because if you have bad weather, you don't enjoy your vacation, and for obvious reasons. So in this situation, that this could be something for that situation. Hay que tomar en cuenta que habrá mal clima. So let's break this down. Hay que tomar en cuenta. We have to take into account que, that is similar to that. So you can have here that or just like that. Habrá mal clima. There will be bad weather. Okay? So yeah, bad weather in Spanish is mal clima. And yeah, I mean, in this situation, it's very easy to see that someone wants to pay attention to the weather because, they're going to do something and the weather can be, in this situation, the weather is going to be bad. So they need to, change plans or something like that. Excellent. Now let's see another example. Tomaremos en cuenta sus sugerencias. Tomaremos en cuenta sus sugerencias. This means we will keep your suggestions in mind. Okay? So we can see a different conjugation of the Spanish verb tomar here. Tomaremos. Okay, so that is similar to we will keep. We will do something. Tomaremos. We will keep in mind. Tomaremos en cuenta, right? Tomaremos en cuenta. We will keep in mind, right? Sus sugerencias. Your suggestions. Okay, so this is a classic phrase that a manager would say, if you're complaining or if you tell a manager, hey, like I didn't like the service or you could do this better or something like that. I mean, I don't like to complain, but there are some people that will say something, about something that isn't I don't know, isn't right or something like that, it's good to complain whenever is necessary. But I mean, in this situation, this phrase can be said by a manager. Tomaremos en cuenta sus sugerencias. Okay, so after you tell to a manager something, they can tell you, or this manager can tell you, tomaremos en cuenta sus sugerencias. Okay, we will keep your suggestions in mind. Perfect. Any questions? I see someone on the live chat, Bobby Cash. Welcome. And Bobby is saying, tomar en cuenta bien clima. Okay. It's a good example. It's a bit, remember that you need to conjugate the verb tomar. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but that's a pretty good example. Okay, so Lynette, I see that Lynette says, hay que tomar en cuenta mi hijo hablar español. Okay, that's another good example. And something that sometimes you might hear is toma en cuenta que. So if you add que, for example, in this situation right here, we can see tomar en cuenta que. Okay? And that's, you can see that very often, like in different sentences, Spanish sentences, you will see the phrase tomar en cuenta que, or toma en cuenta que, or tomaremos en cuenta que. It depends on the situation, but just keep in mind, toma en cuenta, that you might have to use the Spanish word que, okay? And that's similar to that. Also, it means what, but it also means that. Toma en cuenta que, take into account that, something like that. Okay. Let's see 2 more examples, okay? 2 more examples. Tomaría en cuenta tus opiniones, pero no quiero. Tomaría en cuenta tus opiniones, pero no quiero. This means I take your opinions into consideration, but I don't want to. So this is a very, very rude phrase or mean phrase, If someone is saying this, it can be a bit mean, it's mean. I hope you never have to say this, but you might hear this from other people. And that's what it means. I take your opinions into consideration, but I don't want to. So let's break this down. Tomaría en cuenta. I'd take into consideration tus opiniones, your opinions, but no quiero. I don't want to, So that's a little funny. That's a bit funny because, it sounds very mean. Tomaría en cuenta tus opiniones, pero no quiero. I take your opinions into consideration, but I don't want to. So yeah, that's what this phrase means. Once again, very important to conjugate the Spanish verb tomar. In this case, tomaría. Okay, so that's a conditional tense. Okay, so let's see one more example. Nunca tomes en cuenta la negatividad de las personas. Nunca tomes en cuenta la negatividad de las personas. This means never take into account people's negativity. So this is something like a positive phrase, if some friend tells you that another person said something mean about your friend or something negative, some negative comment, then you can you can talk to your friend or talk with your friend and say, nunca tomes en cuenta la negatividad de las personas. Never take into account people's negativity. So let's break this down. Nunca, never. Tomes en cuenta, take into account la negatividad. In this situation, well, that means negativity, just by itself, negativity. De las personas, peoples. This is a very peculiar thing in Spanish that we don't have this right here. We don't have people's negativity, So you gotta say la negatividad de las personas. Okay, so it's a bit longer, but that's how Spanish works. We don't have this peculiar thing. We have to say the noun first and then, like the belonging, where the people's negativity or la negatividad de las personas. We can talk about that in a different lesson, instead of using this something that belongs to someone, like how people, in this phrase, people's negativity, and how to structure that in Spanish. We can see different examples, but yeah, in this situation, you have to say la negatividad de las personas. Okay? Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but that's how it works in Spanish. We don't say people's negativity or personas negatividad. We gotta say la negatividad de las personas. Perfect. Okay. I hope that that's clear. But yeah, essentially, tomar en cuenta means to take or take into account, okay? And it's a very, very, very common Spanish phrase. Tomar en cuenta means, remember, it means bear in mind, keep in mind, take into account, take into consideration. And tomar en cuenta literally means to take into account, okay? Because this right here, I told you that it means to take and into or in cuenta, account. So yeah, it's literally to take into account. So let's remember that. And please let me know any questions. You can give me more examples and we can talk about that. For example, Bobby Cash says, tomar en cuenta bien clima. I know that I read that before, but you could say, toma en cuenta el buen clima. Okay? And this is similar to take the good weather into account, right? If you're going somewhere, I don't think you have to take into account something that is good. Usually Well, it could be you could tell someone good things, like you can remind them that you did something good, for example, if you're asking for a raise, you can say toma en cuenta mi buen trabajo, something like that. And that's similar to saying taking into account, or take my good job, could be good job, take my good job into account, like you did something good or you're doing your job well. It's similar to that, toma en cuenta mi buen trabajo, and especially if you're asking for a raise, that's something that you can say, right? Now, I see that Lynette also had another example. Hay que tomar en cuenta mi hijo habla español. Okay, so you could say that's a good phrase, but you could say also something like this: hay que tomar en cuenta que mi hijo habla español. Oops, you can't see it. Let me fix that. I'm just gonna move this and this down here. Okay, so that is similar to we have to take into account that my son speaks Spanish. Or it could be this is like a more accurate translation of that phrase. Hay que tomar en cuenta que mi hijo habla español. We have to take into account that my son speaks Spanish. Or you could say, this is similar to bear in mind that my son speaks Spanish, right? So that's a sentence that you can say. Okay, so I hope that helps Lynette and Bobby. Your examples are very good, and thank you for sharing. Okay. Anna says, thank you for your effort. You're welcome, Anis. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Lynette says, tomaría en cuenta mi departamento, pero quiero dinero primera. Okay, that is an interesting phrase, Lynette. Can you translate that into English, just to know more about the phrase? Because it's a good example, but it's a bit confusing. Good effort, though. Anna says, how we say take into account my advice. Okay, so that could be something like toma en cuenta mi consejo. Okay? And that literally means take my advice hang on. Take my advice, advice into consideration. Okay, so that's what it means. You can say to someone, to your children, for example, toma en cuenta mi consejo, because you have experience or something like that. and that literally means take my advice into consideration. That's a great question, Anas. Hello, Sam's Curse. Hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Now, Lynette, I take you to my apartment, but I need money first. Okay. that's a peculiar example, Lynette. That's a peculiar example. Yeah, I'm not sure about the situation here. But let's see if we can translate that. Okay, so okay, I take you to my apartment, but I need money first. This is not related to tomar en cuenta, right? This is a different thing. I don't think you can use tomar en cuenta in that situation, because remember that you want to say, I don't know, if you could use toma en cuenta que. That phrase, if you start your phrase with toma en cuenta que, and then add the rest, that is something similar to take into consideration that, blah, 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 blah. Let's see if I can translate your example. It's a bit weird, I gotta say. Okay, toma en cuenta que te llevaría a mi departamento, pero necesito, let me just move this up a bit, dinero primero. Okay, so it's a long sentence. Or you said, sorry, but I want, pero quiero dinero primero. I mean, I would not say this to people because they might think something else. But yeah, essentially you're saying, toma en cuenta que te llevaría a mi departamento, pero quiero dinero primero. Please don't say that. I just feel bad because I'm just, this sounds kind of odd to me. But yeah, that's what you're trying to say. It might be something that you're trying to say, Lynette. But yeah, okay. Any more questions? Related to tomar en cuenta, please. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to use this phrase, practice. You can leave more examples down below in the comment section down below. And remember to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. Also, you can get memberships. You can support this channel through memberships. You only need to click on the join button down below. There are 3 different ones, and pretty much you are buying me a drink. So that would be, I mean, if you can get a membership, that's gonna be greatly appreciated. Every membership has its own perks. So just take a look and just click on the join button down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Also, give this video a like. That helps me a lot. And if you want to read more about Spanish, you can go to smlessons.com. And also you can download free crossword puzzles and some flashcards as well. You only have to go to smlessons.com and you will find all of that. I'm leaving all the links down below as well. You can also donate directly to this channel. The link is down below, and tomorrow we will have some crossword, so stay tuned. It's gonna be tomorrow around 5-6 Eastern time. And yeah, that's it. Just stay tuned. We're going to try to guess some parts of the face, just some anatomy. And if you want to just take a look and participate, you can do so. That's going to happen tomorrow. Or you can just watch the video, the live stream, and you will learn some new Spanish words. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, take care. Bye.